All right, so I've talked about PANDAS before in another video about more of what it is and where it comes from. So today let's talk about a complication. When I work with PANDAS patients, one of the biggest complications is there's multiple co-infections that go along with it. What is a co-infection? It's another infection that the body has that adds to the stress on the body. So first of all, a patient with PANDAS had some infection or some stressor, whether it's toxicity in the body or metals or something else, caused the body to flare up. And that flare up caused inflammation of the brain. But that doesn't mean that's the only thing they're dealing with. Many times when a PANDAS patient comes in, they have multiple positive tests for multiple different infections. So when you're working with this patient, you've got to be able to deal with so many different pieces of the puzzle all at once, or at least in a pattern in which gets them well. So let me talk about a little patient that I have, and he's a great patient. And what happens is his mom brings him in because he lost verbiage. He lost the ability to associate very well with her. He could not do any writing. He could not understand anything, and he was getting violent. And she brought him in because he had been tested by his medical doctor, and the medical doctor found that he had a positive to several different infections. Whether it was mycoplasma, bacteria, fungus, he had all of those, and we were able to find a few others running some other different types of testing. So when he came in, I said, this isn't as simple as just having one infection. We've got to work slowly through each piece. We've got to support liver. We've got to support digestive tract. We've got to support inflammation in the body. All of these supports help him to be able to tolerate treatment, because a lot of times PANDAS patients, when they start treatment, if there's anything that's going to help get rid of these infections, it's also potentially going to cause a Herx reaction. So the kid's going to get worse before he gets better. And that's sometimes par for the course, but sometimes it's just too much. You can't do that to some of these kids because they're older, they're stronger, they can be violent, they could hurt themselves or the family. So you've got to be able to support pathways in the body to get the die off of the organism that created the entire start to this out, or because their body's accumulated so much toxicity due to their genetics, due to their environment, that you've got to be able to slowly get that out without allowing so much to happen. So with this little guy, we were able to get the liver supported, get the digestive tract supported, get him feeling a little bit better, get his hyperactivity and his aggression down, and then we started slowly going after these organisms with supporting the immune system and building the body up. And after, it took a little while, after a year, we were back to having some speech. He was no longer aggressive. He was able to go out and be in public with his family without the fear from the parents of him running off or being violent or breaking things. So we were able to make those changes in a way in which brought him from a kid that could never leave the house, almost needed like a padded area because he would hurt himself or hurt others, to now he listens, he can respond, he can articulate, he has some sentences, and you just keep working forward. And I've seen kids that have completely come out and completely recovered, but not every kid makes it all the way through by the time I made this video. So I wanted to talk about one that was kind of in the middle. So anyway, co-infections need to be tested for, they need to be looked at, and they can be literally almost any other kind of infection out there. So make sure you're looking at all the infections, not just one. Don't accept one as the end all, because then when that one's gone and your kid isn't well, is that enough? So if you've got PANDAS or PANDAS friends, get this information out to them. If you've got friends with kids that are dealing with ADHD, OCD, any of these other anxiety, depression disorders, get this information out. There are so many ways to get well. All right, thank you.